Hi Disciples, today we're learning the second part of my Ode to Joy theme arrangement. The part we're learning today sounds like this. And just those four measures. And the first thing I want to show you is the right hand, and we're going to learn the hands separately and then slowly bring them together. I think that's the way to do it for this song. And this part is a little bit tricky. We're only learning four measures because the last measures we've got triplets, so you got to think it's a little bit tricky. But you can totally do it. Well, the first thing you want to see is basically an A major chord. So you've got an A, a C sharp, and an E, and that's sort of broken up. So if you look at the right hand, measure 9, and that's the top part, the part in the treble clef. You've got the first two notes are a C sharp and an E, and you're alternating with this A. And then you do that again. So there's the first four notes of the first half of that first measure we're learning. All right. Now the top two notes are basically gonna kind of like rotate like this or slide up to a D and an F sharp. The thumb is still alternating by coming back to that A, and then you're gonna play the next one is gonna be a D. So that's the whole first measure, and you can kind of think about it as if you were playing just two chords. This A and, well, what is basically a D in inversion. So if you see those two shapes that I'm playing here, this A major shape and this inverted D shape, you'll be pretty good, because watch what happens if you try to remember that shape. It's very close to just playing that shape twice. So that's the right hand first measure. Second measure we're learning today, you're going to start with that same C sharp and E to the A, and you're going to go right to that D and F sharp, and you're going to drop in a G instead of going back to that A, and then back to the D and F sharp, then back to the A and the D. So hopefully you see that there's some similarities between the second measure in the right hand and the first measure. So here's the first measure, and here's the second measure. Up right away, back to this, and then doing that little, going back to the D here. All right, so that's the second measure. The third measure starts the same way. Actually, it starts very similarly to the second measure that you just learned very rapidly. The C sharp and the E to the A, D to the F, to the G, back to that D and the F sharp, excuse me. And now this time, instead of going back to the A, you're going to go to an A sharp, and then to an E here, and then to an A sharp again. All right, here's the first three measures slowly in context, or all together. And then not quite repeat, but similar to the G, and back to this thing. Okay, now back, same start as the second measure. To the A sharp, E, A sharp. Now this part is where it gets interesting, and you're going to be doing. So for each beat of the measure, there are 4 beats in this measure. In each measure, you're going to want to be playing 3 notes for each beat. So if you're thinking, and if you can kind of hear the tune in your head, it'll help you understand the beat pattern. So this whole thing we've been playing has been like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm kind of making this little like pattern that a conductor would make. And I know that you're looking at the keyboard down, so it'll be hard to see, but maybe I can conduct like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third measure, 2, 3, 4. 1 lale, 2 lale, 3 lale, 4. So each one of those beats you have to break into 3 little pieces, and I recommend saying lale, 1 lale, 2 lale, 3 lale, 4. And that fourth note, you'll see, it's just a quarter note and it's held out, so you just hold it for the beat. So let me show you what those notes are, and then you can practice trying to play it. And for the right hand fourth measure, you probably just want to focus on that measure. So like this: D, A, D, that's the first beat, to an E, G sharp, E. So you've got D, those are the first 2 beats: D, A, D, E, G sharp, E. Then you've got D, G, D, and then you just end on a C sharp. So if you see these 2 notes, the D and the A, top, bottom, top, the E and the G sharp, top, bottom, top. The D and the G, top, bottom, top. And you end on a C sharp. So you should practice that looping like this. Yeah, and you just loop it over and over. Now, the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that some people have the tendency to go. They play really fast and then they just play that beat. But you want each one of those notes in those triplets to be the same distance apart, including between beats. So like ba 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 ba. It's like my hand is clapping the exact same speed. There's just a little pulse on every third. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's the right hand. Here's the whole right hand all together, and then we're going to move to the left. So from measure 9. It's going to feel like it gets faster there. And it does. So the left hand, now there's actually a pickup that you want to be paying attention to this whole thing that starts us off. So you're actually going to play these low set of A's here, octave A's, and you play them on the 4th beat of the measure before. So I'm going to count the measure before. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to count the measure before so you can see how to think about it. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and okay. So that you have hopefully you have the tune a little bit in your head so you know how that pickup works. All right. So you're gonna play those octave A's as a pickup, and then you're gonna hold them for another 4 beats after the initial 4th beat. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 1, so on the start of the 2nd measure we're learning today, the 10th measure, you're going to play that again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then you're just going to play the thumb. 1, 2, and then to an A sharp. 3, and 4, and to a B. 1, and to an E. 2, and to an A natural. 3, and then you just spread down and finish that octave while holding down the A. So we're going to go through that a little bit more slowly just so you get the notes, and we'll talk about the rhythms a little bit. So octave A's, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Octave A's again, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just the thumb is going to play an A. 1 for 2 beats, 2, A sharp for 2 beats, 3, 4, to the B for 1 beat, B, E, A, and spread out and add the A an octave below. So that's the whole left hand. I know that's a little bit fast, but you can take your time and pause and look over the sheet music and try to understand it, all right? So I think what the best thing to do is really slowly try and bring the hands together for you a little bit, all right? So we've got these octave A's starting for us, right? 4, and then you play the right hand. 1 and 2, this is really slow. 3 and 4, and then together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just the thumb. 1 and 2 and together. 3 and 4, and now every beat. And that's it. You've got that fermata at the end there, so you can hold it out before you move into the next part. Now, the last thing I want to say that you should remember with that 4th measure, that's the tricky part. Your right hand is doing triplets. You jump into triplets all of a sudden while your left hand is playing on the beat. So that's why you want to practice those hands separately so that you sort of have a sense for each hand, and then slowly try to put it together. Even if it's not in time, if you practice with your hands separately. Just try to put it together and slowly get faster and smoother for that last measure.